Hello. Welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should stop wasting time following up with prospects. I'm Heather, and I help business owners set up their business system so that they can have time and money freedom to do what they love to do. I show them how to bundle their value, their expertise, their knowledge, their wisdom, how to bundle that so that they can charge a premium price for it instead of discounting or giving it away cheaply, so that they could hit their money goals, hit their financial goals easier, quicker, with less people, be able to have that freedom to dive deeper with their clients so that they can get better results or have more time for self-care so that they can show up better. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know you can hear me. So that they can show up their best selves to serve others too, and then have that ripple effect going forward. We're going to talk today about this thing that keeps a lot of gurus out there saying follow up, right? So we're going to talk about why you should stop wasting your time following up with prospects. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but stick with me. It's all going to make sense in a minute. If you're here with me, hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, you could do hashtag replay and just say hi in the comments. And if you've got any questions or anything, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll check them every once in a while. So let's talk about how my clients consistently make anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 with just one phone call. Okay. One call equals one sale. Okay. Because I hear that some experts say that you should have to call your prospects at least 16 times to get them to say yes to your offer. That just sounds crazy to me, because if you set up your marketing correctly and if you follow the principles I'm going to share with you today, then it's highly possible to make a high ticket sale on the first conversation, maybe two at the most. Okay. One or two conversations. You don't need 16 conversations. No need to be nurturing the relationship for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. I know a lot of gurus also talk about how you need to develop that know and trust and all these followers and all these likes and everything for months on end, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. It really doesn't. No hounding people and calling them again and again. If you learn how to enroll people properly, I'm going to say that slowly. If you learn how to enroll people properly, okay, if you know how to communicate the value effectively around what you're offering properly on the phone and how to pre-frame that conversation, you will be doing business more efficiently. You can be enrolling clients within 24 to 48 hours of them discovering you. Don't show up with an outdated model like that feature versus benefit model, expecting to have to do a bunch of follow-up, because no decision is really made at that point. So the first thing to think about is, what conversations are you having with these people that are showing up? Are you talking about how long you've been in business, or just how qualified you are? Your potential clients are coming to you because they have a problem, right, that they want solved. Maybe it's a broken marriage, or maybe it's no confidence to go on a date. Maybe it's health issues that they're suffering from. There's a plethora of things. Today, I had a conversation with somebody who wants to help franchisees figure out which franchise to get into. There's a million different service businesses out there. And the one thing they really want to talk about is, does anybody want to guess it in the comments? What do they need to be talking about? Because I say this every week. We say the same thing every week. I know you guys know this. Peggy, Dina, you're here with me. What is everybody looking for ultimately? The problems, the results, right? They need the results. They want the solutions. That's what they want, right? Good job. Have real conversations, guys. Real conversations. Trust yourself. You know what to say. You know your stuff. You're an expert. You've been doing this a long time, right? If you know what you do and you're an expert at it, you know what to say. Okay. Have a real conversation with people. Talk to them about what the problem is and how it's affecting their life. What is going to happen if they don't do anything about it now? You could ask them that. Is this a problem, a now problem, or is this like a 6 months or a year problem? Because if it's a now problem, they need you now. So you really want to tap into that. And then how can they move forward from there? That's what you need to be focusing on, those conversations. So don't focus on how great your offer is. Don't focus on the features of your offer, the benefits that come with it, how awesome you are as a service-based entrepreneur. People don't care about that. They really don't. They want to talk about the results. They want to talk about what's the solutions, right? So if all you're talking about are these irrelevant things, you're just going to be giving people things to think about. It's going to become more confusing, and they're just going to be like, okay, now what do I do? When you do that, you're really going to have to keep on following up, right? Following up with them, because your prospects can't come to a decision with just the information that you provided on that call. But most people, when they come face to face with their problem and their consequence of not taking action at once, will decide to do something about it. Okay. So, what I'm saying here is to make it an easy decision, because it all boils down to, do they want to fix the problem or not? How committed are they to fixing that problem or not? Does that make sense? So, again, just be mindful about the kind of conversations that you're having and focus on the problem and how your offer can help solve that. So, let's dive into the second thing. The second thing I want you to remember is, do not give out band-aid solutions. Okay. Band-aid solutions. And what I mean is like quick fixes. Okay. You're only giving people, they're giving them like a false sense of security. And I see this happen a lot. You get on the thing and you start teaching them how to solve it because you all care so much. You all care so damn much, and which is awesome. But the thing is, you can't help people on a deep level if they don't come and work with you. You can't help solve their problem on a 45-minute call or an hour call or whatever. Like their problem, they're having a problem. They need to work with you so that you can go deeper with them to solve the problem. If you just give them quick fixes or you start teaching them little things on that call, it's not going to work, right? And most service-based entrepreneurs think that if they show people how great or how knowledgeable they are, that clients would eventually sign up or work with them. And the opposite is true. People will go away with that little crumb of information, try it for themselves without signing up or committing to doing that work that expert does do. So just don't get into expert mode. And it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge to get away from this because it's like such a natural thing because you guys care so much. You want to help. You're an expert in what you do. You could talk about it all day long. And so it's just so easy for you to be like, okay, do this, do that, right? Refrain from that because it's not helping, right? Don't get into that expert mode trying to solve the problems during the call because, again, they're just going to think that they don't need to work with you, okay? Even if they really do. And so your prospect will think that they already got some value from that. And then they'll just go back to not having really fixed anything permanently, right? It's been going on maybe for such a long time. So then they'll revert back into how they've been coping for so long and think, oh, I just needed this little thing and that's going to solve it, right? But it just doesn't work, right? And you know it as the expert, but they don't know it because they're not the expert in that. And I encounter this myself on calls all the time. I'll get them to realize, ask all these questions to get them to realize what's really going on so that they can see. Because sometimes too, what happens is they think that the symptoms are the problem. So I get a lot of people, they think the money is their problem. Not having money is their problem. But not having money isn't the problem. The real problem is they don't have the systems and the processes and everything they need to get the clients to pay them, or the knowledge and the wisdom to get the clients to pay them so that they can have the money, right? So the real problem is they don't have clarity around how to do that thing. And so they think, oh, I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing to try and get money so that I can solve the problem of not having money. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense, but it's really hard for people to see that sometimes. So anyway, and that can be for anything, right? That's just an example for the people that I deal with, but whatever it is for you, it just kills the enrollment right there. So again, don't get into the expert or consultant mode where you're just giving and giving, hoping that they'll like you enough and they'll be so grateful that they'll eventually hire you. And maybe that could happen like with the YouTube channel or something like that. That could happen, but it's a really long game. And that's what we're talking about today. You don't have to follow up 16 times, right? If you want to get that sale going quickly, then you need those systems in place. You need that strategy in place for that, right? And you need to be able to communicate the value effectively around what you're offering, coming with that certainty, coming with that knowing so that you can easily guide them into that sale. If you want it to take forever and you want it to be based on the know, like, trust factor over a long period of time, and by giving them tons and tons of stuff over YouTube over a long period of time where they eventually do buy from you, that's a different strategy, right? I guess it just depends which one you want instead. Just understand this. Following up again and again, it just doesn't go well also with being an authority in your field. Okay. So if you're following up 16 times, it comes across as like desperation and neediness. And what does that do? Turns people off, right? If you like kind of push people away, what do? They want to come towards you. But if you're like coming towards them, they like, It's like pushing them away. So the need to follow up is usually a consequence of bad marketing or sales ability. The need to follow up is usually a consequence of bad marketing or bad sales ability. So when you depend, for example, on referrals, you'll only get maybe one or two a week if you're lucky, right? One or two a month, maybe. And that tempts you to check back in on those people because that's all you got, right? So it's okay, what can I do? You focus too much on enrolling those one or two people. If your whole business is built on referrals, for example, right? Or built on a system or a strategy where it only gets you like one or two people every now and again, right? Or maybe you're cold calling, maybe you're scouring LinkedIn, maybe you're on social media all the time and people aren't responding. You don't have those systems in place, those automated systems in place to get the right people finding you, calling you, and paying you, right? So you've got very little to work with. If your business is built like that, then you can't really scale or create any sense of predictability. So you'll just be hoping and praying and guessing that you were good enough for that previous client that they'll want to talk to others about you too, right? So the issue here is how many leads are coming in regularly, like in a week or in a month. And if that number is really small, then you really will have to follow up with people. And same goes for price too, come to mention it, because if you've got a small price, that's why I teach my clients is like, how do you bundle your value and have a really valuable offer so that you can charge a premium for it? So you don't need a ton of people, but you do still need that consistency. But the thing is, if you don't have that consistency, if you don't have that system set and those procedures set and the strategy set, then you're gonna have to fix that, bottom line, basically, right? So you need some kind of system that's going to bring in potential quality clients every day. Quality, not just a bunch of randos. You need quality too, because you don't want to be wasting your time talking to people that aren't a good fit. So if you can set up your systems again to have something that weeds out the people that you wouldn't want calling you and spending time with, talking to and getting to know and potentially become a client, and brings in the majority of people that you get them to book a call with you or come into your store or whatever that you would want to buy from you, that are ready to solve that problem, then that's the key right there. So like a client attraction system that brings in the kind of people that you really want to work with, like clockwork, okay, as well as those who are ready to commit. So whether you're doing paid or organic marketing on social media, the point is you can't just rely on word of mouth, okay, in a business. You could, but it's a lot of work if you're doing a lot of cold calling and just randomly blanket marketing people and blanket doing like social media posts without having the specific strategy that ties into all the other pieces in your business. Does that make sense? So in my business, I follow a simple 4-step process: social media post slash ad, or this, right? A live, right? And then that leads people to a valuable free offer. And that's what I was talking about. Something that can weed out the people you don't want to talk to and bring in the right people, saves a lot of time, right? Also sets you up as the authority and sets you apart from the competition. So that valuable free offer has to do all those things and a bunch of other things too, but that can be automated, right? So it creates a know and trust in like that, right? And then brings in these people like within 24 to 48 hours, they'll book a call, right? You talk to them and then then they become a client. So that's post, media ad, valuable free offer, phone call, client, 4-step process, right? So that's scalable, right? You can predict it and you can control it, right? Especially if you're doing ads, right? If you want more ads, you increase your spend, right? When it's set up properly and you got the right things hitting. Once it's all set up, then you just increase ad spend if you want more clients. And if you want less clients, then and you want to go on vacation, then you can control that, right? It's like a dial. So it's not the same as a referral based marketing. That's not predictable. If you're just hoping, praying someone's going to refer you, that should just be like a bonus. So anyway, this is the simplest way to get people consistently signing up, even if you've never charged a premium price before, or even if nobody knows who you are, right? There's a way to do it where all that can be done for you. Okay. And it's just a process, right? So you don't need to have a successful high ticket offer already either. Most of my clients that I worked with didn't even have an offer yet. And that's what I help them with. I help them develop what that is. Take all their knowledge, all their wisdom, all their expertise that they've gained over the years, all their passion, what they're passionate about, bundle that, bring it up and out of them on paper, organize it, and put this offer together that's so beautiful. And then how do you communicate the value around it effectively so that so it resonates deeply with people for them to take action, right? With the right people, not everybody, right? So all the marketing systems that go around that too, that gets you enrolling clients like clockwork. Does that make sense? But the thing is, there's so many pieces, right? There's so many pieces to building a successful business. And I like to give this house analogy. Okay. I know I give this house analogy a lot, but it really puts it into perspective and why you may not be getting the results in your business that you wish you had. Okay. So I'm going to give it to you here again. So maybe this will resonate with you as to why you're not getting the results. Yeah, okay. Let's see what we have here. Is it helpful to directly ask them, do they want to fix the problem now or not? Yeah, absolutely. You got to know what they're thinking. I don't know who asked that, didn't show your name, but yeah, I flat out on a phone call will ask people after conversation, after getting to know them, I'll be like, okay, gotcha. So how quickly do you want to fix this? Or is this like something that you want fixed now? Is this something that you want to solve now? Is this result something you want to get now? Or is this something that you want to see in the future? And guess what they say? Because I have my marketing set up properly, 9 times out of 10, right? They're like, "Oh God, I wanted it fixed yesterday." Because I'm attracting the people that are ready, that are committed to fixing the problem now, the problem that I solve, right? There's a way to, again, set it up so that those are the people that are calling you. And then by the time you get there, they're going to say yes, most likely. I'd say 9% of the time they say yes, I want to fix it now. And then there's other things that come up. But most of the time, the reason why they're on the call, the reason why they took the time out of their day to book that call is because they've got a problem or they want something that you have, right? If your marketing's done properly, to get them to take the time to do that. People are busy. There's so much going on all the time. So in order for somebody to really take that time, some of them think that they're coming on just to gather information. And that does happen sometimes, but for them, by the time there's a reason why they're there, right? So there's a way to communicate to get to that root cause, get to that, like, why. I even asked that. I'm like, so how'd you call me today? Like, what are you looking for? I'm very direct. I don't like to waste a lot of time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste their time. So let's get to the reason why you're here. How can I help you? What are you looking for? Is this like something you want now? Is this something later? Sometimes it is later, because sometimes, like, I'm trying to think of something like maybe they're just finishing their certification or they're still finishing a certification in something. They want to finish that first before they start setting up their business, type of thing. And they'll have a couple more weeks. So they might not be ready that day, but it's, yeah, when are you ready? They do like schools, maybe they do stuff with students or school or whatever, and they've got the summer to set it up and want to rock and roll want to be all set up by September. So it's, you want to get a time frame of things for sure. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question, and let me know if there's any other questions. Okay. Oh no, I didn't give the house analogy. I almost forgot the house analogy. Okay. So building a successful business, right? Especially one that has time and money freedom. And I feel like most people, the reason why they get into business is because they want that flexibility, because they want that time freedom. But what happens most of the time, like 99% of the time, is because our society is built on teaching us how to be workers. They teach us go to school, get good grades, get a good job, work, do. What happens is people want to start a business, and because they've never been shown in their life, they go and create a job for themselves. Because now, not only because they don't know the systems, it's up here in their blind spot, right? And so they'll not only now have to deliver what they offer, but they have to do all the other pieces, right? There's the marketing piece, there's the sales piece, there's the price piece, there's the offer piece, there's the setting up the business piece, there's the branding piece, there's so many different pieces to a business, right? And the accounting piece, you could go on and on. There's so many pieces, right? So if you've never had a business before, what tends to happen is they'll go in and they'll start working in the business. And then it's just so much, they get burned out. I teach my clients like how to shift from employee to empire mindset, right? How to work on the business, not in the business, so they don't get burned out, that type of thing, right? Back to the house analogy, building a business that has that time and money freedom and the flexibility that most people are looking for in order to build a business that's successful like that, it's very similar to building a house. Okay, so what do you need to follow when building a house? What does anybody need to follow when building a house? Let's see it in the comments here as well. What do you need to follow to build a house? Let's see if you guys are paying attention. Yes. Awesome. Blueprints, plans. What happens if you go and build a house without a blueprint or if you don't follow plans, right? Doesn't work, right? Exactly. Plan. But if you don't follow those plans, if you don't follow those blueprints, the house doesn't work, right? It doesn't feel safe to live in. You're not going to move your family in there and live in a house that was built without blueprints, right? You're going to have a lot of issues. It's not going to work. But you all know, you have an idea of how to build a house, right? It needs a foundation. It needs walls. In order to have walls, it needs frame, right? It needs drywall. You need tools if you're going to be doing a frame, right? It needs a roof. So you have an idea. You have an idea of how to build a house. And that's what most people do. They have an idea of how to build a business. So they go on YouTube and they look for different trainings here and there, and they might hire somebody to show them how to do Facebook ads and one person, right? And then they'll go hire a different person to put their offer together, to help them put their offer together. And then they'll hire a different person maybe to figure out the price. And then, or maybe they'll just look around at competition and charge a little bit less than the competition, right? About the price. So nothing's built together, right? Just like a house has a framework, all houses have framework. The business has a framework. All businesses have framework that needs to be in place to get the right people, finding them, calling them, and paying them. Okay. But just like every house is different, right? Every house has different layouts, different colors, different fixtures, different whatever, right? Every business is also different because you're different. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences, your expertise are different than anybody else in the world, right? Plus, who you ideally want to work with is very different than who I would want to work with or your neighbor would want to work with. But those things have to go hand in hand, just like those fixtures and those layouts and those colors all have to fit around the framework perfectly of that house in order for it to work. Same with the business. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your expertise, what you're building, your offer, the messaging, what to say on the call, all that stuff, the price, all of that has to be built together in the right order by following that blueprint, or it's not going to work. There's going to be problems. It's not going to be safe. You're never going to be able to scale, right? It's like being built. And so many people do this. They get on the phone and they're like, I already have my website. I'm like, that's like the roof. Like you don't have anything else. You've started with the roof. There's no foundation. There's no framework. Everything's been pieced together from all these different places. And that's why it's not working. Let me know in the comments if that's what's happening for you. Do you feel like maybe overwhelmed or stuck or confused because there's so much information out there and you've gotten this piece from this place and this piece from that place and watch this YouTube video for that and nothing's going together? You're feeling like you're trying to fit this puzzle together with all the puzzle pieces from different boxes and nothing's sticking, nothing's working, right? And so that's probably what's happening is you haven't followed a blueprint. And that's what I do with my clients, right? I hand them the blueprint. We walk through it step by step. And it's also very specific, very customized, very tailored to who they are, who they want to work with, and their overall arching vision of what their business ultimately wants to look like. So if that's you, put it in the comments, right? Yes, pieces for sure. So put that in the comments if that's what you're experiencing. And let's recap what we were talking about today, why you should stop wasting time following up with prospects. If you're setting up your marketing correctly, and if you follow the principles I share, if you follow these principles that I shared with you today, then it's highly possible to make a high ticket sale on the first conversation. You don't have to have 16 conversations. If you set up your marketing correctly, if you follow these principles, it's highly possible to make a high ticket sale in the first conversation. And the first principle to remember, number one, is to be aware of the kind of conversations that you are having Focus on the problem and how you can help solve that problem. Okay. The second thing is to never give out band-aid solutions, because that will only give your potential clients a false sense of security. And number three, what you need is a client attraction system that consistently brings in the kind of people that you want to work with. So those that are really ready to commit and those that are ready to work. Does that make sense? So if you're interested to know more and how this can work for what you offer, okay, and who you ideally want to attract, then just type in the word systems, okay, in the comments, and I or someone from my team will get back to you with a DM. And I am here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And subscribe and put on those notifications if you want to get notified about me coming up. And I also have a Facebook group called the Business Growth Blueprint. You can come in there. And again, every Thursday I'm in there live. So come and join this powerful group of experts, coaches, consultants, agencies, building their value to create high ticket offers that sell. Any questions? Let's see. Felt that my years of experience and expertise should have been enough for a foundation and support, but the marketing is so tough for sure. So having those right systems in place makes all the difference. So I hope that was valuable for you. Again, even if you're watching the replay, you can put questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer them even at a later date. If you want to set up a free call with me or my team, we can go through exactly what's going on in your business and give you the best strategy step by step of what would take you from where you are today to where you want to go. So if you'd like to set up a call like that, that's free. It's the best 45 minutes you'll ever spend on your business. Again, systems in the comments, and I'm here every Thursday at 3. So have a great week, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, everyone.